Good afternoon and welcome back to Houston Real Estate Today. We've been talking to Richard Elkowitz with Remax Westside, the Bowtie Realtor, and in my opinion, the hardest working man in real estate today. I know because I've interviewed them all. Richard's a great guy and was a terrific guest on the show. Maybe he'll be back later on with more terrific information. And now we turn our attention to Coach Dan Hart. Now you have to know about Coach Dan. Coach started his coaching career, once a coach, always a coach, right, Betty?
Yes.
And started his coaching career as director of physical education at the Kincaid School in January
And
1954.
athletics now.
And
Don't
athletics.
forget about those sports.
That's right. In January of 1954, just 2 days after he played his final football game, Rice versus Alabama in the Cotton Bowl, January 1st of that year, just 3 days earlier. And Coach Dan took on that position under John Cooper, then headmaster of the school. And on that day on Kincaid's campus, Dan met the headmaster's father, and the two engaged in conversation. The elder Mr. Cooper asked Dan a question that Dan has carried the answer to as his personal mission ever since, and it certainly applies here today, and you will see. That question was, what are you here on earth for? When the elder Mr. Cooper saw the young Dan Hart struggling for the answer, he shared the only correct answer with him. We are all here on earth to pass on to the ones traveling down the road of life behind us, the good things of life. I learned once a coach, always a coach, but this coach is a general leading the attack on a misguided and very unfair tax appraisal system and is gathering an army behind him and was last weekend at Costco. We'll talk more about that. And to get things right and leave all others behind him, a better life with lower taxes thanks to more fairer appraisals. So Coach, what a honor and pleasure it is to have you back on our show again. This is right before the Boston Tea Party. You remember in history what happened there.
It's great to be here today, Steve.
Well, I'm glad you're on the show. Coach, my son Tim and I came to see you and Betty at the Costco Bunker Hill this past weekend, and you were there informing how the Board of Tax Professional Examiners works against people and fails to meet the board's duties and responsibilities as the only overseer of the appraisal districts and their staff. We saw your free trip to Austin and back, which is the most important part. You get them there and back.
Gotta get them back.
That's to an offer for new Texas Rangers who will stand up for taxpayers' rights to be heard at the BTPE meeting of Wednesday, May 28th. That's this Wednesday, about taxpayers for equal appraisal. Complaints about HCAD's Chief Appraiser Jim Robinson, Director Computer Assistant Mass Appraisal Sharon Boyd, Info Head Roland Attinger, and Appraiser Jason Cunningham. Not that we're mentioning any names on the show, of course. But and that 47 other Texans have signed on with you. Coach, let our listeners know what the BTPE facts and how you feel about the Costco weekend, how it turned out.
Well, the BTPE is the only watchdog we, the people, have over the county appraisal districts and their staff. But in actuality, the Board of Tax Professional Examiners is more like a lapdog rather than a watchdog. I think it's important to hear their own words. Let's listen to the BTP executive directors, or as dictators as I call him, own words about his special rules for Coach and the taxpayer side at the secret closed meeting to the taxpayers' complaints next Wednesday, May 28th in Austin. Okay. So we have one space?
One space. Two of you and one space.
Well, we got probably 3 or 4.
Well, the only person allowed in there is going to be you.
No, but
Yes, sir.
in the space, I understand that. But you mean in the meeting, nobody else can
No,
come?
sir. Just you. It's your hearing. It's your conference.
It's not open to the public?
No, sir.
Closed?
Not an open meeting.
It's not an open
It's
meeting.
not an open meeting.
It's not an open meeting.
You can have any witnesses?
No witnesses?
This is your complaint, your testimony, your submission.
In other words, all these affidavits don't do any good.
That's a new one. I thought it was an open meeting.
No, sir. This is not open to the public.
David, would you mind telling me that on camera or not?
Sure. Please.
You don't want to camera that?
Recording, please.
Okay. This is hard to believe. Let's hear that again.
Now, on the 28th, we have a reserved parking spot for you set up downstairs on the first level of the parking garage. So all you gotta do is when you come in, tell them that you have put your name in, and it's gonna be all set up for you down there.
Okay. So we have one space?
One space. There's two of you and one space.
Well, we got probably 3 or 4.
Well, the only person allowed in there is gonna be you.
No, but
Yes, sir.
in the space, I understand that. But you mean in the meeting, nobody else can
No,
come?
sir, just you. It's your hearing. It's your conference.
It's not open to the public?
No, sir.
Closed?
Not an open meeting.
It's not an open
It's
meeting.
not an open meeting.
It's not an open meeting.
You can have any witnesses?
No witnesses?
This is your complaint, your testimony, your submission.
In other words, all these affidavits don't do any good.
That's a new one. I thought it was an open meeting.
No, sir. This is not open to the public.
David, would you mind telling me that on camera or not?
Sir, please.
You don't want to camera that?
Recording, please.
Okay.
Well, Coach, I'm glad you played that twice, so that everybody can make sure they heard what they think they heard. And it's, you know, we have to hear things sometimes a couple of times just to make sure it's absolutely valid. And
That's the way I feel too.
yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking kangaroo here. Why am I thinking kangaroo? It's not Australia.
Well,
is it?
you see any kangaroos in the room?
No, not at all. Well, Coach, tell me at Costco weekend, what do you think were some of the high points that you and Betty Lee had at Costco last weekend?
Well, I joined the Bowtie Man in saying Betty Lee and I were very proud of the Texans that we videoed a recording with strong words against the BTP's secret meeting and so on. And like you and your son were recorded, many other strong Texans were. They all spoke for Texas and taxpayers' rights to the BTPE and the Harris County Appraisal District. And so many of the young men that I coached at Kincaid School, Coach, I'd like to help you, but I'm afraid of the appraisal district. The Property Tax Code and the Texas Open Meetings Law give citizens the right to video record government spider webs. And I would like to know what you and the listeners think about this Coach saying. Most liars and violators of law fear audio-video recordings. Could the saying be the reason HCAD's police force blocks all audio-video recordings? HCAD police forcibly tell Coach Hart, audio and video recordings upset taxpayers. But the real truth is most of HCAD staff and HCAD insider traders fear recordings, not hard-working taxpayers. We have some new Texas Rangers who signed up for the Austin-Boston Tea Party trip battle on next Wednesday, May 28th. Any listeners who would like to join the team and the battle, just contact myself, Coach Dan Hart, via Coach Dan Hart at msn.com, or you come to my website, www.hcadtea.org. The trip will include a free trip up, a free lunch at the Capitol Grill, and on Wednesday, May 28th, we will make a difference. Remember the Battle of Salado Creek in 1831, where Texas Ranger Matthew Crawford was outnumbered 6-1, and he said, "This is the most favorable opportunity I've ever seen." He won. We should make WWW stand for "We Will Win." Remember, it does not take a majority to win. It takes an irate, tireless minority to win.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you brought that up, because we're going to stand up for what we believe in and what we know is right, regardless of what the repercussions may be. A true hero is someone who stands up and fights for what they believe in, regardless of the odds against it. And the truth always wins, doesn't it, Coach?
The truth has reached the third stage. First truth, is ridiculed. Secondly, it's violently opposed. And third, it becomes self-evident. It's in that stage now.
Well, the general has spoken and has got the troops fired up. Well, Coach, tell me, you said something about Channel 2 saying that HCAD is 98% perfect. 98%. I want to make sure that's 98% perfect.
I think that the shows that were on Channel 2 were various important shows. One of them shows, you know, the picture where they say they're 98% perfect on the property value study because they use known sale prices to create the illusion that they're perfect. The story could be, if we had enough time, maybe you can come back to it, about the University of Texas and how your student might be graded there. And secondly, I met a young lady last evening at the house there delivering a package who told me about her house had gone up $43,000 in 1 year. The land had not gone up, and that she had asbestos siding. The house was built in 1929, remodeled in '84. The chief appraiser's house, of course, that's out near 2 blocks from a golf course, and over a period of 15 years has gone up 98,000. Well, that doubles this young lady. But the young lady went up in 1 year, 43,000. We have the other side of the coin over here in Cedarhurst, in that area there, where the CAMA director had a situation, had a 25% discount, partly because of the human sewage treatment plant. It turned out to be a water facility. The records were changed, and Coates found out that our next door neighbor never had any discount before or after. And that is not impeccable character in my estimation.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, what's the best way for someone who's interested in making a trip to Austin, being part of this Austin-Boston Beat Party, to join you and the new Texas Rangers?
Well, all they got to do, come to my website, hcadtea.org, or contact me, email Coach Dan, D-A-N, Hart, H-A-R-T, at msn.com.
Excellent. Coach, we're glad to have you on the show again. And
thank my partner, Betty, Steve.
Betty, we're behind you. There's more great information as we come back in our next segment for Houston Real Estate Today, so don't you go away.
It's time to empty our schedules and fill up our
No
flower
Renee.
pots.
No
Time
Renee.
to